Hi, my name is Mark Neal, and today we're talking with Patrick Combs. Patrick is currently a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley, but before that he spent 6 years as a business and sports management consultant. He's also worked as a development director for nonprofit companies, as well as spent 8 years playing professional baseball for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers. In 1987 to 88, Pat represented the USA on the national baseball team that went on to win the gold medal in the '88 Olympics in Seoul, Korea. Welcome, Patrick.
Hey, Mark, great to be with you tonight. Thank you.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a business leader involved in city transformation and using your vocation to aid in this process. So, could you tell us a little bit about your experience in Dallas-Fort Worth as a business catalyst and what that's like, and maybe some projects that you're involved with right now?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Well, we've got a really great board and staff that's working diligently to collaborate with the business community and church leaders. And we've got some great church planters in the area. And it's been a joy and a blessing for me to be a part of it. And it's through this collaborative and in this collaborative way with all the leadership. We've been able to provide resources and see some great church plants in DFW. I think we're up to about 14 now, and of course Brian Hook is our regional director, and has done a great job and has been a great leader in DFW. So we're really excited to be a part of it.
Great. What advice would you offer to other business leaders, or really anyone who's contemplating using their vocation to help in the work of city transformation?
Yeah, that's a great question. We often come across business leaders who feel like they've got to give a lot of resources, whether financially or their time. And what I try to explain to them is, it's really what God has called you to do is to do what you're doing, and just figure out ways to network and connect, and then allow God obviously to work through you in those ways. And if it's writing a check, for some guy, writing a check is the thing that they like to do and can do, and of course we welcome that. But for most folks, I like to get them involved and get them connected. It's those relationships. I call it the power of who. That a lot of folks, once they realize that it's the people that they know that they can connect us to, that can also provide additional resources. That's I think the beauty of it, the blessing that God has allowed all of us to have those great, deep, rich relationships.
Right. So what are some common problems or obstacles that business leaders taking a role in city transformation, might run into, and how do you get around those obstacles?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest obstacles we have are people are just plain busy, and it's with the economy where it is, there's I guess a ton of excuses that folks can come up with, but busyness seems to be one of the biggest issues. And so what I try to do is to really sit down and work with guys and work with families to figure out ways that they can be used locally, either through their own church. And one of the ways that we've come up with is a lot of local churches here have got so many great programs, but they're not sometimes successful in church planting, and so they're looking for solutions. And what I try to do is just get them plugged into their pastors and their leaders, if that's where their heart is, if God has really allowed them to experience a church plant, or if they have just a heart and a vision to do that, is to get them connected with their church leaders. It's worked great. We've collaborated with a couple of big churches here in Dallas. They've seen the success, and they've seen that, I think for us locally, it's 100% success rate so far with church plants. Yeah. So a lot of the local churches are starting to see that. Business leaders are starting to see that. So those successes, I think, are going to lead to other great relationships.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for giving us, a quick overview of how business leaders can play a really important role in city transformation, and how anyone can really use their vocation to reach their cities and neighborhoods. And I'm really excited to see, what's going to happen in Dallas-Fort Worth and all the great stories that are going to come out of there. Thanks again, Patrick.
Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.